Hey guys, and welcome to another Factorio workshop. Unfortunately, Zuri is not with me today. He's really not feeling well, so he had to pass on this one, but we're still here. He should hopefully be here next time and hopefully feeling better. But today we're going to go over the train waiting area and drop-off stations for Mojo's Make Everything. This is something I've had a lot of questions about in regards to the blueprint and how it works, and people just really want it and want to see how it works. So we're going to go over that since I wanted to save the submitted designs until Zuri can join me. So here's Mojo's Make Everything. You can find the blueprint for the blueprint book rather for his Make Everything as well as the train stuff on my website, but I will also throw them in the description as well just for ease. But anyway, the train setup here is pretty much stock with what it came with. I'm going to throw down the original. We have modified on this map a little bit this one. So this is what it originally is this part by itself. And it includes several waiting stations here, and then an exit lane, as well as multiple different drop-off and pickup points. So we'll just start here. This area here is the main drop-off point, and they go into active providers. Now, typically, I would not recommend active providers, just in general, because it creates massive bot surges, which it does. But for this system, it's kind of required. Otherwise, you're just going to fill up the chests, and then the train, another train will come in and won't be able to deliver and stuff. So it's kind of necessary for this. But this is the main drop-off area, and these two were actually meant for outpost trains, to load outpost trains, but they can be used for other stuff. As we go up, I'll show you how we've modified it in my Sending Sports space map here. And then some of these, so this one is the lettering's like backwards, but this is like a refuel train. If you have like a train running around your base to do refueling, you could bring it here. And this would be a trash if you have a trash system. You can have your trash train come in and drop off here, throw in some active providers or passive providers here for that. This is a Lube Unload, because any can use lube to make, stuff like electric engines and stuff like that. And then this is the sulfuric acid unload as well, because it can do batteries and such as well. So, these can be liquid tankers, which I think we did for one of them up top, the lube one. It requires some modifying. I think this is actually meant for barrels. It would be easier, but it's certainly doable with tankers. So this is kind of what it looks like originally. And this is the blueprint I'll put below. So this one is pretty much the same. The loading areas, which I'll go over because that's the smarts, which people wonder about. And then we've modified a few things inside. So let's start with the loading area. This is actually very simple circuit network stuff, which simple enough that even I completely understand it. So that should be pretty easy for almost anybody to understand. So what's happening here is we have wires running across these poles and these substations. And these go over this red wire here, goes over and hooks into the RoboPort, which is obviously in the main network here. And it's just set to read logistics network content. So this will pick up all the contents within the logistics network and the storage and all the provider chests and stuff like that. So it sends all that contents via the circuit network. You can see if I mouse over this, it's showing everything in here, right, on red, because it's a red wire, I believe. So it's showing all that stuff, and it brings it over and hooks it into this combinator. So in these decider combinators, this one's easier to see. On the input here, we have the red wire from the poles, right, bringing in all that content information. And for each waiting station, it's just set to read, whatever material is you want for the train. So in this case, this is a stone drop-off or a stone waiting station. So stone, less than 10,000, you can set this to whatever you want. So if stone is less than 10,000 in the network, it sends out one blue signal to the station. And the station is set to send to train, sends the contents of the circuit network to the train. So it's picking up this blue signal, if it has one, and sending it to the train. And then you can see here, all these trains go to the hold station before they go to the delivery. And the delivery is just one main station, right? It's just named, it's only one station. So they all go to the same station, but they go to different hold points. So they go to this hold point, and the condition here is to essentially wait until the blue signal is greater than 0. So once it gets a blue signal that's greater than 0, in this case 1, because that's what it's outputting, then it says, okay, I can go. And that means that stone is below 10,000 and it can go in. And this is the same for all of these, except for obviously a different material. And you could change the amounts. Like you can see this one was 10K, which is a little high. I'm not quite sure why I had that set like that. But then, you know, this one is 2,000, this one is 2,000. These are defaults. This one is 25,000, so on and so forth. And they're just all outputting the same thing. It's all the same condition. You can see here, the trains are just set to the same thing. And this is a really nice system because it holds all the trains here until you actually need them, and then they can just go into the same delivery station. Now, you do have to be careful because this particular hold system can only have one train, right? There's no room for multiples, but you could obviously extend it. Like if you had more room than I left myself, you could just make this a double hold, a double stacker, just extend it so another train can scoot in behind it and you'd be good. So that's kind of how that works. And again, it's just reading from the circuit network in here, whatever materials you want. Now, this came customized with quite a few of most of the materials I have there, and that's our refuel train. I think it came with most of those. So like iron, copper circuits, red circuits, blue circuits, stone, steel, and coal. We changed some of them. You can easily change it, just change in the combinator whatever material, and then make sure you send the train with that material to that particular hold. Because you can see each station is named like IMI hold steel, IMI hold stone, IMI hold blue circuits, so on and so forth. So that's how that works. Now, we've modified this kind of as an end part of the video here. We have modified this, and you can do this. So in my case, instead of this being an outpost train, this is actually a satellite material pickup train. So the train actually comes into here and picks up the blue circuits that the IMI has from being delivered, and then the accumulators and solar panels that it makes here that I've kind of just, thrown in here, bootstrapped in, and it picks those up. And then this one down here, which was also originally meant for an outpost train, has now become a fuel drop-off, where I just have my fuel train come in and drop off fuel here that can be distributed throughout all these other trains and such. In the lube, you can see I have done a tanker. It can be done. The walls, obviously, normally it doesn't really allow it to fit, but you can modify that. You know, you could bring this out more from the main rail part and have it fit outside the wall. And then it goes to barrels. Some of these are outfitted to actually take in directly from pipes in the blueprint book for the make everything. Some of these modules, like the ones for batteries and stuff, can take in directly from a pipe, I believe. But yeah, so there you go. There's the train holding area in the main drop-off sections. It's a really, really cool idea by Mojo to have done this, and super easy to understand and adjust if you want. You could add even more of these. Again, like I said, if you had more room, you could just scoot your exit lane out more, add more for different materials, and it's just really, really easy. So there you go, guys. I hope that kind of gave you a better idea of how this works. One very last note is this is for the satellite, and we've just added this in and done a little bit of a different signal. It's the same type of deal here, but in this case it's actually just sending a green signal, which it picks up from here, which, because we have two trains, so it's just making sure they don't deadlock in here as I die. Wonderful, perfect ending the video. Wonderful. Okay, there you go, guys. I hope that was helpful. Leave any questions or thoughts you have down in the comments. I will put both these blueprints, the rail and the IMI. Actually, I'll just put the IMI blueprint book in the description, and it will contain the rail part within that. So, or you can check out my website for the different parts and additional blueprints from this map as well. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed and found it helpful. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.